So this video is going to explain what happened to the Justice League after the events of Justice League Unlimited. Now I'm not going to go over the events of Justice League versus the Fatal Five or Batman and Harley Quinn, because I'd rather just go further in the timeline. But you can watch that and it still takes place during Justice League Unlimited probably. So we're going to go over the main 7 members. That being Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter. So I'm mainly going to go over the events of Batman Beyond, since it takes place in the future. And what fascinated me is, like, after Bruce Wayne retired being Batman, I always wondered where the Justice League was, because Batman's been through a lot, since these shows are connected. So anyway, let's get started with the Man of Steel himself, Superman. So Superman remained to be Superman and leader of the Justice League. And then later in the future, he was captured by some junker. And he eventually got out and freed a bunch of these aliens and took them all to his Fortress of Solitude to take care of them. And one of those was an alien called Starro. And that creature eventually possessed Superman. And then Superman sort of became a spy to the Justice League for years, and a sort of traitor, until he met up with an older Bruce Wayne and met Terry McGinnis, the new Batman. And then Terry found out what's going on, and then Bruce gave him some kryptonite to take down Superman, and then the Starro finally came off as Superman, and then Superman and Batman rescued the Justice League, and then Superman remained the leader of the Justice League, and eventually, during the episode Epilogue, years later, after Batman Beyond, Kent called Bruce, who's elderly, and said he needed Terry's help, and Terry, I guess, helped out with Superman, and they had a bunch of futuristic adventures, and Superman, despite being older, still remained the Man of Steel. So now, even a newer costume, too. So now let's go over the next character. That being Wonder Woman. Now, we don't see Wonder Woman in Batman Beyond. She was in Justice League Fatal 5. I still need to check out that movie, but we can just assume Wonder Woman remained being Wonder Woman and stayed in the Justice League and had many adventures along the way. And I think she was going to be in the Batman Beyond Justice League episode, but they replaced her with Big Bertha because of rights issues. So we can assume Wonder Woman's still around. So these next few is really just speculating. Really, I'm going to go over Flash. We don't know what happened to Wally West. We can assume... I assume he's in the Speed Force. Like, maybe he's still at the Watchtower. Maybe... because Wally wanted to really explore the Speed Force. So maybe he eventually learned things on the way. But maybe he retired eventually. Who knows? So next I think is Martian Manhunter. Now, we don't see Martian Manhunter after Justice League Unlimited. We can just assume he still remained like sort of the leader at the Watchtower. And the episode Once a Future Thing, when the Justice League are at the future, they meet Warhawk, Batman Beyond, and we learned that the Watchtower got destroyed and said majority of them died, but this is like an alternate future. So this kind of confirms that they're still around, or we just don't see them. Because in real life, Batman Beyond and Justice League came out different times of years. Like, Batman Beyond ended in early 2000, and then Justice League came out like in 2001. That's crazy, to be honest. So the next few are Green Lantern and Hawkgirl. Now, we do see their son, that being Warhawk. I think his name is Rex Stewart. So we can assume Hawkgirl and John Stewart got married, because I think in Justice League Unlimited they discuss about their future son, and they realized they were meant to be together, so we assumed they got married, and Hawkgirl got pregnant, and then gave birth to Rex, and then I think maybe Green Lantern retired, because apparently in Justice League, John Stewart's been a Green Lantern for a long time, so it'd be like if he was still Green Lantern even longer as years went on until he retired. Hawk Girl, not sure. Maybe they got happily married and they live on their own. Maybe they're still at the Watchtower. I think John Stewart was mentioned in the Once Future Thing episode as well. So that's the fates of Green Lantern and Hawk Girl. Now, the elephant in the room. Batman, Bruce Wayne. I can go over the entire show of Batman Beyond, but I'm going to sum it up in the shortest way possible. So, after Justice League Unlimited, it looks like something traumatic happened to Batman, that being the capture of Tim Drake. Tim Drake was captured and tortured by the Joker and became a Joker Jr. until Batman found him with Batgirl, and then eventually Tim Drake shot and killed the Joker. And that's kind of what ended the Bat family. I know there's a comic where Batgirl gets pregnant and stuff, but I don't think that's canon, since we know the Bat family was broken because of the wrath of the Joker. And we can just assume Batman maybe stayed with the Justice League for a bit, but then eventually retired because he was getting too old, until eventually he built a bat suit, that being the Batman Beyond suit. But then when he's trying to stop a few crooks from a kidnap, when they kidnapped this one girl, Batman ends up failing, almost dying from a heart attack, and he ends up forcing to retire despite how powerful his bat suit was. And he collected things along the way in his bat cave. We can assume Alfred passed away eventually, and Commissioner Gordon. Then Batman just said never again, until Terry McGinnis was created through nanotechnology. And Bruce basically had a clone. And then the two finally met in the episode Epilogue, I think it's called. One of the best Batman episodes ever. And the rest is history. Bruce became basically a grumpy version of Alfred, and Terry, the new Batman. And so that's the history of what I think happened to the Justice League, the 7 main members. And there was also Aquaman, who also went missing during the events of Batman Beyond. I felt like throwing that out there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.